Hello, all you beautiful beings of light. You know who you are. You're my soul family, believe it or not. You may not want to adopt me, but I've already adopted you. It's too late. Hey, welcome back to my channel. My name is Claudia, and I'm really happy that you're joining me here today. I want you to know that this is this is 2.5 years that I have been posting videos and calling you my family of light, because indeed you do have the God gene. You have a code, a quantum aspect to you that scientists are beginning to, and they've known, they just haven't been able to verify certain things, but they've known for a long time that we are, as humans, more than we think we are. In fact, is it Joe Dispenza, Dr. Dispenza? I watched one of his videos recently. I just really like that man, and he's a good person to get some of the meditation videos and just follow along. You know, when you're learning, when we humans are learning something new, we have a tendency to criticize ourselves for being, I don't know, stupid, not getting it. At least I did that to myself many times. I still do. In fact, I was coming home one night from a Seattle workshop on something that I just wasn't getting, and I had a pretty magical experience, which a source took over driving and helped me to gain a better perspective on the matter. So, you know, things can happen if you allow them. Now, I have had things that bothered me and freaked me out a little bit, but you know what? When you are open and trust that your source, our God, our creator, has given you a watch over you, a guardian, a main guardian angel, angelic helpers, guides and guardians. There's so many, so much help at your disposal, and it's always there. But you have to remember, this is a free will planet. They can't do a thing unless you ask for help. I remember back, I don't know, 20 years ago, an example of being in a glass floating in the ocean, and you can see the ocean, but you really can't feel what's out there, and it's not getting to you because there's a little bit of a barrier there. And what the meditation did was walk us through an exercise of reaching out our hand. Just take one and imagine that it's actually going through the glass, and that you can feel not the ocean, but protection around you, like a mist. And you might even feel a hand resting in yours, and a little bit of its energy. So there might be a little pulse to it, a warming, all kinds of things. That is your guardian angel, and every one of us have, well, more than one, but you're born with one. And as we grow and evolve and shift as humans into our teens, and then into our adulthood, and then into our middle years, and whether we need help with finances or work or any other aspect of your being, that help is there. It is there for the asking, and you can prove it to yourself by reaching out that hand and saying, I could use your help. I often do this when I'm driving and I'm going through an area where I'm not comfortable. I've not been through there before, or I've just got the time where I realize I should be asking and talking with them. And so I'll just reach my hand out onto the console and say, just put your hand on mine and let me know you're there. And sure enough, if you just just will hold that thought, that guidance is right there, hand on yours, comforting yours, and you allow your mind to be in that space it's a place of listening down here in your heart. So you'll notice it. Anyhow, Joe Dispenza was saying that they now know there are chemicals and other components to the heart that were not known of before, and the heart actually has thinking components that are separate from the brain. Thinking components, your heart does. Wow, that sets up a whole nother world of possibilities. This quantum thing about us being children of our Creator, of our Source, of our God, having a genetic code that is connected directly with our Source, is becoming more and more of a real phenomena. And science is beginning to tap into and access, the proof that all along we've been seeking. I mean, nobody can, up to this point, can even prove there's a God, but somehow or other we believe it. And if you trust and believe that you have guidance with you at all times, and you begin to act as if that is the case, at some point you'll begin to realize that you are believing it. This is the way the subconscious aspect of you works, and you are taking charge over your thoughts. Where your thoughts want to argue with you and tell you it isn't so, the aspect of you that knows there's a deeper aspect to you will tell you that it is so. And the more you can begin to work with that notion that spirit works through me, in me, and through me, and that it's coming from here, the more you will get experiences of how that happens. And you'll begin to sense, know, and feel more comfortable with that notion that you are more than you think you are, that you are a body of light, that there's an aspect of you that's a body of light that's connected with our Creator, and that you are being watched over 24/7, so that any question or concern or whatever you have is answered. So that's it for me for the day. I want to thank you for being here. I have quite a few more stories. I'm going to tell the story soon about, and it's going to have to be in a couple of parts, otherwise it would be way too long in one piece. But how I, for the first time, because we don't get to that trust and belief and strengthen it without giving it a chance, without allowing it, right? And so my spiritual journey to that began in the 70s, and all through the 70s there were some minor things that happened, but by the end of the 70s and into the 80s, a lot more things were happening. And if you'll read or go back and watch some of my videos, they'll, especially the ones later, the later ones from last year, you'll see and begin to understand more that the more I trusted and allowed, the more experiences I begin to have, and the proof then comes into fruition. And it will for you too. We just have to give it a chance. Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. I really haven't jumped ship and deserted you, but things are definitely shifting. We're moving away from initial instruction videos into, you now have to either begin trusting, have a little faith in the process and in yourself and in the knowledge. You have to begin feeling, knowing, sensing, trusting, and believing that you are more than you think you are. And I'm here to help you with that. And I want to thank you for joining me. So I'll be back And there are some other things I'm working on. It's a Dear Abby kind of a thing. It's Ask Claudia, and it might be Dear CJ. But it is through all of the years of my life, I've had people ask me questions, and I always have a little different perception of another way to go about how you might be able to gain or garner a win-win for yourself, or for you and your job, for you and your situation, you and your partner or your spouse, you and your children. Because I've learned to listen, I get a little extra nudge of what's possible for you. So if you have questions, now is the time. Use my website email, Claudia. My website is Claudia Carrabba, www.claudiacarrabba.com. It's listed below. And